Sir Rani, how would you introduce yourself to our audience? आप कनाडा से आए हो, उसके बावजूद भी बहुत देसी हो।
मैं देसी हूँ। मुझे आज बस दिखाना है कि मैं काफ़ी देसी हूँ। आई थिंक क्योंकि आई लव इंडिया सो मच और जब मैं अमेरिका में थी सब लोग मेरे को देख के उनको पता चलता है कि ओके ये देसी है, तो अमेरिका में मैं हमेशा देसी थी।
And what do you stand for with your content and why you chose that specific niche?
My thing is that everybody deserves pleasure and I think इंडिया में ऐसे mentality है कि अगर तुम खुश हो कुछ गलत कर रहे हो, तो ये pleasure से निकालना है कि ये shame, ये judgment. And sex for me was the easiest way to start because so pleasurable and also the biggest factor of shame in India.
Let's hear from you, Muskan. Tell us about how you started your content creator journey.
I create content regarding feminism, women empowerment, calling out patriarchy. मुझे पहले से ही पता था that I wanted to do something for women. But कब करना है, कैसे करना है, I had zero idea.
Why do you think pleasure for women not talked about at all? Do you think it's body insecurity or societal factors? What do you think is a major factor here? Because in India, we don't talk about pleasure for women at all.
I think we don't talk about pleasure for a lot of people, but with boys, it's like, हाँ, boys will be boys. तो कर लेते हैं like whatever. लेकिन अगर औरत कुछ करती है तो it's like कोई शादी नहीं करेगा. So there's a lot of fear and I also do think women are naturally more people pleaser.
It's that fear in their brain that makes them think कि they are not valuable. It's a fear that what will society think? What will their parents think? The parents shame part. And it's also something like Ghar ki Izat. So the whole pressure of being responsibility of a whole family is on women.
Do you think a difference starts coming when a couple gets into marriage compared to when they were in a relationship? Like the difference start there only?
I think marriage in India comes with lot of expectation. हम ये बोलते हैं कि शादी सिर्फ दो इंसान में शादी नहीं होती, दो families की union होती है, दो families इकट्ठे आती हैं. A lot of families' expectations is what ruins marriage. For me especially, it's a patriarchal institution, runs on gender roles, which runs on expectations. If you and your family are not broad-minded. मतलब मुझे भी ऐसा लगता था कि all around my life I have faced so many difficulties just because of gender.
Then how do we expect women to build all this? This was never expected out of them. And now with this generation, things have changed. And here we are sitting, we are trying to build stuff.
Women for centuries were not allowed to work or allowed to have bank accounts. Why? Because the second a woman has money, her own money, men don't have power. Men don't get to be the providers, which they wanted so badly, which is if men did not care about being labeled providers, they wouldn't have made this rule that women can't have their own money. But if a woman has never gone out, she has never had financial freedom, she has never done things for herself, she has never enjoyed anything in life, she has never experienced pleasure. Exactly what you said. A threat, directly a threat to the patriarchy.
Hello everyone, मैं एरिका हूँ and आज मेरे साथ है हमारी देसी एसिड रानी and a proud feminist मुस्कान मदान. Let them introduce themselves. Asad Rani, how would you introduce yourself to our audience?
मैं देसी हूँ. मुझे आज बस दिखाना है कि मैं काफ़ी देसी हूँ.
तो आपको क्यों लगता है कि आप कनाडा से आए हो, तो आपको क्यों लगता है कि बट आप उसके बावजूद भी बहुत देसी हो?
क्योंकि actually I think क्योंकि I love India so much और जब मैं अमेरिका में थी सब लोग मेरे को देख के उनको पता चलता है कि ओके ये देसी है, तो अमेरिका में मैं हमेशा देसी थी. फिर जब मैं इंडिया आती हूँ इट्स लाइक नहीं तुम फॉरेन से हो, सो मेरे को ये पसंद नहीं है. और मैं अपनी मर्जी से इंडिया में रह रही हूँ, हिंदी सीखा खुद से and all this stuff. So मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा बहुत खर्च चाहिए मेरे को कि मैं देसी ही हूँ.
वैसे तो आपका आउटफिट भी बहुत देसी है
है
आज.
ना, मेहनत किया मैंने.
तो आप हमें बताना चाहोगे कि आप आज यहाँ पे क्यों हो, आप एसिड रानी कैसे बने, व्हाट एंड आपका कंटेंट किस बारे में है?
तो एक्चुअली मुझे हमेशा से पता था कि मेरे को कुछ करना है इंडिया में लड़कियाँ के लिए स्पेसिफिकली. लेकिन इंडिया आने से पहले सब लोग मेरे को बोले कि ऐसे तो नहीं है अभी इंडिया में सब कुछ इक्वल ही है, औरत भी कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, एजुकेशन सब कुछ इक्वल है. और मैं इंडिया इतने अच्छे से जानती नहीं थी उस टाइम पे बोलने के लिए कि नहीं है भाई, नहीं है इंडिया लाइक ऐसे इतना इक्वल. तो फिर पिछले बार when I came to India and I kind of, as a solo woman, I was 23, I kind of understood कि नहीं यार, it's really, there's a lot more to go. And then उसके बाद India से बाहर जाके I traveled a lot, and then I realized कि I'm happiest in India, genuinely.
And what do you stand for with your content and why you chose that specific niche?
My thing is that everybody deserves pleasure. And I think India में ऐसे mentality है कि अगर तुम खुश हो, कुछ गलत कर रहे हो. और मेरे को ये मतलब pleasure से निकालना है कि ये shame, ये judgment जो होता है. Like, and sex for me was the easiest way to start because it's so pleasurable and also the biggest factor of shame in India and around the world.
Agreed. And let's hear from you, Muskan. Tell us about like how you started your content creator journey. First, if you'd like to tell our audience where you're from and what do you do.
Hi, I'm Muskan. I create content regarding feminism, women empowerment, calling out patriarchy. And मुझे पहले से ही पता था that I wanted to do something for women. But कब करना है, कैसे करना है, I had zero idea. I was in a corporate 9 to 5 job, and so many women around me DM'd me saying that they have been through the same exact thing, but उनको कभी उनको कभी इतनी हिम्मत ही नहीं मिली कि वो किसी को जाके बताएं. और सोशल मीडिया पे they never had courage to go and rant. So I was like, okay, I think this is something that is needed even from my perspective. मतलब मुझे भी ऐसा लगता था कि all around my life I have faced so many difficulties just because of gender, and I think a lot of women still do, and we have a long way to go. So yes, so that was like just a start of December was just a start of my content creation journey. And
And you blew up
yeah.
really fast.
Yeah, you're
Like,
a proud feminist, viral Muskan Madaan.
we started creating content both in January, I think. है ना?
Yeah.
And my growth was super consistent. It was like when you were celebrating 10K, I was celebrating 100K. And now you're at what, like 270?
Yeah, 260 around.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
it's like
crazy.
because when I came to your house and I
But
saw your
wait. First, tell me how you guys met. What's the story here?
Actually, मेरे को याद नहीं है. तुम बताओ, तुम्हारी तरफ से
Okay,
बताओ.
so I have been following Tanya from so long, like the earlier when you were creating content, but
Like this year or
4 साल.
pehle?
I think pehle, because it was like someone the face was very much familiar when I have seen you this year. So I was like, oh, why I have not followed her? I have seen her so many times. Like, why she is not in my following list? And
That's
then
surprising because you just had 1,000 for 500,000.
5,000
Five
followers.
back
Remember
then.
पिछले बार जब हम दोनों मिले
Yeah,
थे
yeah,
बेंगलोर
yeah.
में, मैं थोड़ा बहुत content creation कर रही थी. Actually not really. बस 2 हफ्ते के लिए मेरे ex-boyfriend के बारे में बुराई कर रही थी और वो viral चल रहा था. Like हो रहा था उस time पे.
I think from some video I might
So
have
that's
seen
2022.
हाँ.
2021 December से.
Oh.
Some video I might have seen. So the face was like, okay, I've seen her somewhere. So after that, I saw your stories recently. Okay, you are in Bangalore. And then I thought of texting. And then I was like, oh, she's a big creator. Why will she meet me?
Like way more
Are you
of a
being
follower.
humble?
No, you have
No, I really thought it. And then you texted me by
कुछ करते हैं,
हाँ.
हाँ. क्योंकि actually I'm surprised that you thought that because you're so much bigger than I am now.
But the thing is, I blew up recently. So it was not
एकदम
like.
से भाई मैंने इसके घर गई and whiteboard में लिखा था goal for July 130. August
August.
में नहीं, it's goal for July में ऐसा लिखा था
Goal for August was 130.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So that
Damn.
was my
even
consistency.
crazier. That's even crazier. क्योंकि मैं तो क्या सितंबर में ही आई थी तुम्हारे घर पहली बार, है ना? Or all of a sudden it's like 260. I'm like भाई ऐसे कैसे हो गया? ये क्या? क्योंकि लोग मुझको बोलते हैं कि 5 महीने में 100K कैसे मिल गया? क्या कर रही है? और फिर I'm like एक महीने में
I
दो
think,
2 लाख
हाँ,
कैसे आ गए?
I
बहुत
think
बढ़िया.
it was just the right need of the content at the right moment that it went viral, and I have a lot of women around, like the supporters. 88% of my audience is women, and I'm so proud of it.
What a flex! That is amazing. Goals,
And
honestly.
what about you, Tanya? How's the distribution of your audience?
Mine is
Is it more Indian centric or is it
it's
foreign?
less Indian than yours. I think mine is 60% Indian. तुम्हारा तो क्या 80% है?
80% Indian.
हाँ. And my men following is 65%.
Okay.
And women following is 35. तो
Mm-hmm.
उतना भी नहीं. But मेरे चैनल में ऐसे है कि बहुत सारे लोग मेरे को फॉलो करते, सारे कंटेंट देखते, लेकिन फॉलो नहीं करते, माय बैड. कंटेंट देखते सारे, शेयर भी करते, लेकिन मेरे को बोलते कि पब्लिकली मैं तुमको फॉलो नहीं कर सकती हूँ क्योंकि मतलब फैमिली को पता चलेगा. तो I'm like चल ठीक है, मतलब if I'm helping you, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from shame also. Women talking about pleasure is like threat to patriarchy. So
And my thing is कि I was talking about sex and pleasure and this and that, और मुझे लगा कि ये सबके दिमाग में चल रहा है, लेकिन वो बोलते नहीं. तो I was like ठीक है, मैं बोलूँगी और उनके साथ रेजोनेट करेगा. जब मैं तुमसे मिला पहले बार मेरे को पता चला कि नहीं यार, दिमाग तक नहीं आ रहा है, क्योंकि they have so much other stuff in the patriarchy to deal with. Like मैं तो step 10 में बोल रही हूँ. And it's like we have to cover step 1, 2, 3. मुझे लगा I was at step 1.
But
लेकिन
Tanya, why do you think like pleasure for women is not talked about at all? Do you think it's body insecurity or societal factors? What do you think is a major factor here? Because in India, we don't talk about pleasure for women at all.
I think we don't talk about pleasure for a lot of people, but with boys, it's like, huh, boys will be boys. तो कर लेते, like whatever. I think pleasure is often associated with like sex. And when you can control a woman's sexuality by repressing it, क्योंकि a woman will always be a sexual being. मतलब शादी होता तो women ही इतना सुंदर होके आते हैं, women ही jewelry सब कुछ पहनते हैं, मतलब औरत को ही देखते हैं ना. So she's always, her beauty, her looks, her sexuality is always there. But if a woman owns it, a man can't come and own it. You know what I mean? So when a woman is super beautiful and then she knows ki I'm really valuable in society because the patriarchy values my sexuality and how I look, if she knows that, that means she has the upper hand. But if she doesn't know that, like kitne baar matlab ye movies mein they romanticize this guy who like finds this really beautiful woman who doesn't know she's beautiful, and he goes and says like aap to bahut sundar ho, and she's like koi mere ko kabhi aisa nahi bola hai, like you're the man of my dreams. And it's like that's how they keep the bar super low. Agar औरत
yeah,
बोलेगी कि हाँ मुझे पता है, तो तुम मेरे को क्या लेकर आ रहे हो, मुझे मतलब मुझे पता है कि मैं सोसाइटी में बहुत वैल्यूबल हूँ, मैं बच्चे पैदा कर सकती हूँ, मैं ये सब वो सब कर सकती हूँ, and all that stuff. So it's like then other people can't use her sexuality for their power. So I think this is why women's sexuality is repressed all around the world. लेकिन इंडिया में थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा ही करते हैं.
हाँ, तो मुस्कान, आपके ऑडियंस से भी आपको यही समझ आता है कि these are the reasons कि women's sexuality and pleasure is not given importance at all?
yeah. What I think is sexuality and pleasure is basically a direct threat to patriarchy, because if they knew कि a woman knows her worth, they are like we can't control her. Like,
Absolutely. And the biggest, so I've asked, like मैंने तो बहुत सारे लड़के से पूछा है क्यों, like body count इतना matter क्यों करता है. Usually मेरे देश में लोगों को body count की कोई मतलब नहीं है, generally compared to India. लेकिन इंडिया में बहुत सारे लड़के बोले हैं कि क्योंकि अगर उसने like 10-15 लोगों के साथ सेक्स कर लिया, तो मुझे कैसा लगेगा कि मैं उसको satisfy कर रहा हूँ. तो for me it's like अच्छा तुम्हारे insecurities की वजह से तुम उसको इतना shame कर रहे हो. It's not any reason कि like there's no mental reason, no nothing. Plus if she's been with other men, then she'll compare me to other people, and if I can't be the best, then you know like this and that. So it's kind of ridiculous that they.
Straight up
Rather than
performance
putting in work to be
insecurity.
best, they just want to hide behind that you should not have any other experience.
Yeah, they don't want a woman to know better for herself, because if she does, then his bare minimum is actually not worth anything to her. But if a woman has never gone out, she has never had financial freedom, she has never done things for herself, she has never enjoyed anything in life, she has never experienced pleasure, then when a man comes and says, Tum sundar ho, she's not going to be like, oh my God, for the first time in my life, I'm so happy. Like, ek bar, like, haath se khana khila diya. And she's like, Teek, now I'm going to have your babies. Like, it's not going to be like that, right? Abhi, she's going to have higher standards. And it is exactly what you said, a threat, directly a threat to the patriarchy. Mm.
So Muskan, from your audience, like what? Because you told us that major of your audience is women. So why do you think even women are not prioritizing their own pleasure and sexuality, or even like, do you think they have some internal issues themselves, which is not letting them, have this as their priority?
Talking about women, as far as like I understand, there are a lot of steps, as you said, there are a lot of things to cover in terms of mindsets before even reaching at pleasure, before even thinking about pleasure. Because this purity culture in India, you
Yeah.
it's like a sin. It's literally a huge guilt in
Okay,
terms
just
of
for our audience, let's define the purity culture as well, so
hmm.
that if somebody doesn't know, somebody's not aware about it, they also can connect to this. So, would you like to define it?
So it's the idea of women being virgin before marriage, especially before marriage. So this this idea of purity, it means they are valuable, they are respectable only if they have not had sex before marriage. This is basically the culture.
And I
Tanya,
don't
what are
think,
your views on it? Like, is it back home as well like this?
wait though, I didn't realize how strong purity culture was. Matlab, wahan pe bhi, it's like, yeah, like women aren't virgins, or like women should be virgins. Like, yeah, aisa hai. Like in India, mein, it's actually implemented, like parents care and people care. तो जब मैं इंटरनेट में जाके बोलती हूँ सब लोगों को, लड़कियों को especially, कि नहीं भाई, मतलब don't care about purity culture, have sex, who cares what people say. मुझे लगा कि हाँ, मेरा काम हो गया, अभी सब लोग सेक्स कर रहे हैं, सब लोग एंजॉय कर रहे हैं. तो मुझे पता नहीं था, क्योंकि इतने सारे लड़के मेरे डीएम्स में बोलते हैं कि वो अंदर तक नहीं जा सकता है क्योंकि मैं इतना क्लेंच्ड अप होती हूँ, ये क्यों हो रहा है. तो अभी आई एम स्टार्टिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड कि प्योरिटी कल्चर इज सो डीप दैट दीज गर्ल्स जेन्युइनली, इट्स इवन अगर दिमाग से बोल रहे हैं कि कर लो भाई, मतलब हम इतना देर से रिलेशनशिप में हूँ, 5 साल 6 साल से रिलेशनशिप में हूँ, आई कैन हैव सेक्स नाउ. They're physically unable to, क्योंकि दिमाग में इतना अंदर से, their value as a human being
Right.
is directly correlated to their virginity.
And it's opposite for men, right? Like,
Huh.
more they are
Yeah,
outgoing, more they
exactly.
engage in sex, like that's what they can brag about. But for women, it's completely opposite, right?
And so there's this condition called oh my God, I can't remember the name. It's something where it's actually painful to have sex.
I
And
understood.
so many women in India have messaged me, ki, oh, I think I have this, I think I have this. And I'm like, nowhere else in the world have I heard this many women say that they have it. This is purely mental, because अगर मतलब इतना biologically इतना होता तो अमेरिका में भी होता है ना, यूरोप में भी होता. I've never had anyone outside of India come and say I have this, and India में इतना सारे लड़कियां बोलते, like not one or two, like I'm talking so many girls. तो I'm like, भाई ये तो बहुत mental psychological चीज बन
So
गया.
that shows me that women are thinking about it, they want to work on it, but they have their own mental blocks, right? Which
And
is
it's
not
valid.
allowing them to enjoy this part of themselves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sorry, Muskan, you were saying something.
I was saying it's that fear in their brain that makes them think ki they are not valuable, and it's a fear that what will society think, what will their parents think, the parents shame part. And it's also something like ghar ki izzat. So women are usually termed as, you are ghar ki izzat. So the whole pressure of being um of a responsibility of a whole family is on women.
Reputation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
reputation, the correct word.
Yeah. But I don't know where it comes from. Like, it sounds ridiculous. I don't know why daughter has to carry on the reputation of a family, even though after a point she has to just move on to another family. Like, that's our culture.
And then she has to carry the reputation of the another family. So it goes like that, a transfer of women as well as the reputation she carries.
I also think whatever men do in society is way more forgivable. Like a man can do anything and it's like, हाँ ठीक है मतलब हो गया, like पहले ही
Boys
हुआ
will
था,
be
boys will
boys.
be boys.
हाँ.
लेकिन अगर औरत कुछ करती है तो it's like कोई शादी नहीं करेगा, कोई मतलब this and that and all that stuff. So there's a lot of fear, and I also do think women are naturally more people pleasers. So it's easier to like, लड़कियों को दबा के रखना.
I
Like
think
boys
more
तो
than natural, Tanya, it is like if they don't be that person who caters to everyone, their value will again be much lower than it is when they're people pleaser. I think
yeah.
that's the reason. Like,
But
They'll
I
be
think
called a bitch, right? If they're not.
exactly, like they'll be
huh.
judged more for it than a man.
Huh. But I think like I've also worked with kids and बहुत छोटे से like you can tell कि like the boys will be like crazy running around doing whatever and the girls will be like pretty like prim and proper even from a young age. So when that girl who's usually really good does the smallest thing, it's easier for the parents to correct it. Whereas the boy who's already running around and doing stuff, like if he does another bad thing, it's like he's always like this, yeah, it's always out of control.
I actually differ here a little bit because I feel like kids are also very smart. They can understand adults around them and what is okay to do, what is not. And girls, like, from very young age, they can see that how strict a parent can be to them if they defy any rules. और लड़के भी देख सकते हैं कि मेरे पेरेंट्स कितना डांटते हैं मुझे रूल्स तोड़ने के लिए. So I think, and also they hang out with their peers, like younger children and stuff. So I think kids are also reading it and then they are reacting on it, rather than it's the like nature part. Naturally, like women are more people pleasers and men are more
It's not nature.
outgoing.
It's like they are
Nurture.
trained. Nurture.
Yeah.
So when they see the parents around them, when they see their mom people pleasing the whole family, they become one. Women become one
Yeah.
with not intentionally, but
Like our whole society looks at women certain way and at men certain way, so kids get that, like how I'm being looked at. And it's not like parents are doing it on purpose. It just come across that if a girl child is defying any rule, the reaction parents give will be different than when a boy child does that.
शायद क्योंकि मेरे कोई भाई नहीं है तो I never saw how society treats boys different. I just saw my life and my sisters. So it's actually like something I've noticed in India is people will often ask me like, oh, like, do you have siblings? And I'll be like, yeah, I have two, like two sisters. And then they'll be like, bhai? As if the family is not complete without a brother.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This was very shocking to me when I first came to India. I'm like, bhai, kyun chahiye?
Yeah, here it is
हम तो
very
ऐसे
common.
ही
Even
खुश है.
we are three sisters, and we get asked this a lot. Oh, you don't have a brother? Yeah, like, but it sounds very useless question because, like,
I know. I'm like,
yeah,
if
what
I
does
had
it
a
even
brother,
mean?
I would have told you I had a brother. Like,
Exactly.
but this is why because there are so many things that I'm learning about India because I came here and I was like, I spent 1 year in India. I flex it to everyone. Maybe hard to get you, Hannah. So I obviously know everything about India and all that. But जब हम दोनों chill कर रहे थे और तुम इतना casually like चीजें बता रही थी मेरे को about the patriarchy and this and stuff because मैं सच बताऊंगी मुस्कान जब मैंने तुम्हारा content पहले देखा I was like ये content कौन देख रहा है क्योंकि ये common knowledge नहीं है क्या. And जब तुमने बोला मेरे को कि तुम्हारा content is considered controversial, I'm like, Q, does anyone not agree with this? I was genuinely so
there are
confused.
so many people.
हाँ, तो when we were chilling and मैंने देखा तुम्हारे पास कौन से questions आते, and I was genuinely confused. For example, इतने सारे लोग like they were asking about periods. And they were like the impurity periods and being untouchable. And I was like, to me, it's like using two completely random words and putting them together, like like impurity and period. And I'm like, why are these even put in the same sentence together? And then तुम इतने casually बताती है कि हाँ क्योंकि in India like girls are considered impure on their period, and I'm like my it's just like shocker for me कि लोग ऐसे भी सोचते हैं क्या? तो इसीलिए I wanted to spend, I really like talking to you because it gives me so much perspective on what's going on in the deeper parts of India.
I think a lot of my people also find my content like very basic because they know ki okay, this is right. Who actually needs to hear this? But unlike this is not reality. I started with hate. So my content journey started with hate, not supporters. I the followers were women were increasing very slowly, but the first I kind of comment that I got, which was not a person that I know, was a hate comment, and the hate comments grew as well as the supporters came in. Now it's like equal, and now it's not 0 to 1 equation; it's equal. But my point is, India not only has all of this, but also the urge of having a son is so much, and it is related to girl child abortion. It is related to so many issues that we can't even like once we picture them in a whiteboard, we can connect the dots to every issue. The dowry culture, women getting given away to the family, everything is related to one root cause, that is patriarchy. And
And that makes a woman liability rather than an asset, right?
yeah,
Yes.
that is the reason they don't want a woman as a daughter, because they know they have to give the dowry, they know they have to give her away for marriage. And I was just sitting around with my mother, and there were these two aunties who were talking, and they were like, um, some auntie in their group had a third child, and she was like, thank God, तीसरा तो लड़का हुआ. And I was like, and I instantly looked at my mom and I was like, Mama, what? What is she saying?
So, as we were talking about worth of women, do you guys think in dating and relationships 50-50 is possible?
I don't think so.
I think so, but it's like, it's very controversial. It's very depending upon the situation. Like, it cannot always be 50-50. It's like sometimes 70-30, sometimes 30-70.
Like
So,
in what areas?
so finances, chores, emotional labor, and all the relationship effort that goes in it. All the relationship effort that goes in it.
Why do you think it can't be 50-50?
I think until physiologically, biologically, men and women can do the same thing, it and it will never be 50-50. So until men are able to give birth, until men are the ones responsible for breastfeeding, until men are the ones who are hormonally affected by children, it will never be 50-50 because a man and a woman can have a kid. Most likely the woman's the one who has to take time off from work. She's the one who's seen as a liability for a job because आदमी तो बच्चा हुआ भी तो वो काम कर सकता है. Like an औरत, if she falls pregnant, then she's gonna have to take months off, recovery, this and that. So in this thing, it can never be 50-50. As long as men are physically stronger than us naturally, which they are, क्योंकि more testosterone, it will never be 50-50 because women, as long as we go out and we can't fight a man off the same way a man can fight another man off, it will never be 50-50. There will always be like kamzori on one end or another.
So, what's your idea of a ideal marriage, ideal relationship? Like, how do you picture it? How Acid Rani
So
pictures
I
it?
think it's very important for people to define it for themselves. I think that I personally, um, when I have been financially giving a man as much or more, which usually it has been for me in the past, I was like, I want a man who, like, I'll pay 50% of everything, but then I expect 50% of what I give as a woman. And then I realized it is never like that because I started doing 50% of, paying for stuff, 50% of like whatever load that a man would normally be responsible for, that men have decided men are responsible for, not me, by the way. Um, one, the man would get emasculated often and take it for granted. And two, I felt that I was still doing the emotional labor, you know? So I realized, for example, with my ex boyfriend, that relationship was so good when he was paying for everything, taking care of everything. He liked that anytime something had to happen, I would go to him and be like, hey, can we do this? Which I had no problem because for me, in a relationship, obviously मैं पूछूंगी कि ये कैसा
That's such an interesting point because a lot of the time we don't even talk about emotional labor in relationships,
of
right?
course. And
So,
most realistically, this is why I hate the concept of 50-50 क्योंकि ये concept बन गया है कि okay, अभी a woman will do 50% of what a man did, which is 50% of paying the bills. Or आदमी 50%, he'll do 50% of what a woman did, which is cooking and cleaning. Are you kidding me? Cooking and cleaning is what we have reduced a woman's value down to? Like, oh yeah, 50% of me doing 50% of a woman's job is कभी कभी मैं खाना बना देता कभी कभी मैं झाड़ू लगा दूंगा
but what about the mental load, right?
exactly
Of
Yeah.
managing a house.
exactly she's
Exactly.
Even
still
though if you have
going through
help.
periods
Yeah.
women are still responsible for birth control women are still responsible for it's like do you know any women whose husband took their last name no like I don't know any man who has moved in with his wife I know some people who haven't moved in with either in-laws but I've never seen this kind of 50-50 last name 50-50 but you get the mom's last name I've never seen this kind of
So,
50-50
what kind of 50-50 I believe in is the father should be as much as responsible for a kid's parenting as much as the mother is.
is this possible though
Parenting.
is it
Why
possible
not?
Yeah.
because like I think that women realistically if a kid is crying for its parent like it's gonna say it's sick or whatever immediately it's like mama Hannah your mom gives nurturing energy but more than that it's like it starts from breastfeeding when as a baby before you can talk or understand what's going on you associate your mom with feeding you it's very hard for that to change just ekdam se I think men can be
But
very
don't
involved
you think it doesn't mean that men should not put that effort?
I never said that yeah
So I'm saying in terms of effort, the effort should be equal.
Yes,
I
exactly.
absolutely agree that the efforts should be equal but biologically
Yeah,
from day
biologically
one
it can't be
that's
equal,
what I'm
but
saying
after the kid has been born, after the breastfeeding, or during that, the other parent, which is the father, can be
They
responsible
should
for
be
the.
equally present in the kid's
of
life,
course
right? But
Yeah.
whereas in India, if you see Tanya, that's not the case. Mostly,
I agree. But this is what okay. So this is where I think I'm really out of touch with what's going on in India. Because for me, when I think about 50-50, I'm talking about these kind of things. You're right that a man should be very present in his kids' lives. Absolutely. But I think what has happened is that men think, okay, sometimes I'll drop off the kids to school and now I want my woman to work too and pay 50% of everything. Like when people talk about 50-50, the number one thing that comes up is splitting the fit bill on a first date. This is the biggest thing. Or another thing that comes up is if a woman hits me, I can hit her back. These are the two things. It's like we're telling you as women that we want equal rights and you're as a man you're telling me, "Okay, so then pay 50% of the first date bill." Or if you hit me, then I should be able to hit you back. Like that's not what 50-50 is, you know what I mean? So I
understandable. Yeah.
so this is why I kind of have beef with the 50-50 concept because I feel like all 50-50 has done is lightened the load of men. We have cut their load into 50% and now it's like, okay, a woman who wants to be an equal in a marriage has to pay has to do 50% of the providing. But women are still managing the house. Women are still remembering birthdays. Women are still in charge of the doctor's
A
appointments and things
lot
for their
of
kids.
work is not visible.
Exactly. And not valued because historically women have done it without screaming from the rooftops that dekh hum ye karte hain.
Ha, exactly. Because they never bragged like men.
हाँ, men are like, देखो मैंने इसके लिए पैसे दे दिया. But women have been doing so much. Like, so many men. Have you ever heard men saying that you should be grateful for men because everything around you was built by a man? All the most life-risking jobs are by men.
Oh
What
my
about
god.
childbirth? Like, childbirth is one of the biggest, like, risks for life for women. And
Yeah.
nobody brings this up. It's like, huh, like, बच्चे पैदा कर दो. People here talk about it like candy. Like, हाँ,
It's
घर जाके बीवी pregnant हो गए and
Yeah,
this and that.
like
It's like, that's a big deal, bro.
And there was this reel I saw.
It okay.
Okay. Yeah, there was this reel I saw. A man telling, okay, what have women built? All this technology, all the industries, male are the leaders. And
What?
I
yeah,
know. That's
and I was like, did you let her build? Women were oppressed since so long, and
Exactly.
you are complaining now
Was
that
they
there are
given
not more women
tools?
in the
a
fields?
woman built you, bro.
Yeah,
A woman
exactly.
built you. What do you mean?
And somebody commented, ask your mother.
No, but
Literally.
seriously, like if we take it seriously, women are not given tools to, build all these things. They were not given proper education, they were not given proper opportunities. Then how do we expect women to build all this? Like this was never expected out of them, right? So, and now with this generation, things have changed, and here we are sitting, we are trying to build stuff, right?
And I think that's another thing is that the patriarchy, for example, I've heard a lot of men complain about there's so much pressure to be the provider, but this was created by the patriarchy. Like women for centuries were not allowed to work or allowed to have bank accounts. Why? Because the second a woman has money, her own money, men don't have power. Men don't get to be the providers, which they wanted so badly, which is if men did not care about being labeled providers, they wouldn't have made this rule that women can't have their own money. So, I mean, this is why I'm tying it back
So
to
you're
50
saying that
50.
it's a compensation for their insecurity. Patriarchy is
Yes, because
compensation.
men, exactly, because men need that. So, for example, like in a lot of my relationships, I never cared if the man had money, but the man cared if he had money or not. And he was so nice to me until I had more money than he did, even though I was happy to pay for things. And he felt emasculated and he started treating me bad because he felt emasculated. So, that's the thing is that a lot of these men want the position of provider, the respect of a provider, but they don't want to do the work of a provider. So it's like a lot of men, if you've like noticed in relationships, it's been a personal issue. They don't like when they have to come and ask me if I'm paying for things. Ki, Tanya, can we get this? Tanya, can I buy this? Whereas when I had less money than he did, this did not affect me at all. I'd be like, hey, like, can we go get these? Or I really need this. And they'd be like, yeah, sure, for like, why not? But for a man to ask me hurt his ego. And I did not see him as less of a man, but he saw himself as less of a man. So this is why until men heal themselves.
So you're saying 50-50 doesn't even work for men. That's your
Exactly.
experience, right?
Exactly. And
But it's also interesting, Muskan, you brought the point of equal parenting for a child. But much before that, what's the difference? Do you think a difference starts coming when a couple gets into marriage compared to when they were in relationship? Like the difference start there only?
आई थिंक मैरिज इन इंडिया कम्स विद लॉट ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशंस. हम ये बोलते हैं कि शादी सिर्फ दो इंसान में शादी नहीं होती, दो फैमिलीज़ की यूनियन होती है, दो फैमिलीज़ इकट्ठे आती हैं, विच इज़ वेरी पॉजिटिव थिंग टू से इन इंडिया. ओके, बट a lot of families expectations is what ruins marriage for me, especially like how I see it. It's a patriarchal institution which runs on gender roles, which runs on expectations. If you and your family are not broad minded, so I think for a woman it's a lot of people pleasing comes in, a lot of expectations to serve the family, to uh, pro to provide, just like, to go in the kitchen or do some stuff which women are supposed to do. The pressure of doing that comes into the picture.
What's your point of view, Tanya, that how marriage versus dating changes the dynamics between a couple, between two of them? Even though if we take the family out.
I think the problem is that women are seen as a prize. And society, when we say this, Izat ladki hi, Izat, like something about
Reputation
that.
of the
Yeah,
family.
she's carrying that. I think women are seen as the prize. Even though we're saying we don't want to be seen as a prize, we want to be seen as a normal person. They are seeing us as a prize. Is she beautiful? Can she do this? Is she capable of doing this? How will she look for our family? And then, just like with a prize, which is an object essentially, you work so hard to get it. And the second you get it and it's hung up in your room like a trophy, you don't care about that anymore. It's like, huh, ghar ki murgi. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
so that's the problem, is that a lot of these people, a lot of men, they understand that the only time they have power with a woman is before he has her. Because then she has the option to say, no, I don't want you. I don't want you. I want this person. The second he has taken her virginity, the second he has put a baby inside of her, the second he has taken her into his thing and almost marked her, she is no longer valuable to anyone else and no longer valuable for him. And that's where we start seeing this, where a man, he put so much effort before dating or even while they were dating. फिर शादी होते ही नज़र कहीं और चले जाता है या वो मतलब like appreciate नहीं करता है.
But also these days, I am seeing this trend on social media of trad wives. Like, do you guys want to talk about it?
I definitely want to.
Sure, go ahead.
So, for the audience, the trend is something like wives post their daily routine. Nothing wrong with that. Anything, anyone can post whatever they like. They're just showing their day life. But what they don't show is their husband appreciating them, valuing their work, their in-laws helping them, or at least appreciating them for what they do. Nothing of that is shown. Just shown, okay, I woke up at 5 a.m. I did puja. I made this breakfast, and and I packed my husband's lunch box, and I did this. And at the end of the day, I am editing this reel so that you can see what I did.
And how great my life is.
But what
Yeah.
impact do you guys think it is having on our society right now? Like, how is it creating any serious impact, positive or negative?
I
Yes.
think a
Why is it
lot
being
of
talked
it.
about so much these days?
So there are two kinds of there are two, I would say, comments that I've seen in these kinds of reel. One are from men who are saying, okay, this is how a woman should be. A real woman looks like this.
Real women. They love to say this.
And the other are from women. They are saying, okay, I got motivation to study, going back to work, going back to, they, when women see this routine, they see it as a fear. Oh, if I don't work hard enough, I'll have to end up like this. So this routine basically is a fear in a woman's head. So there is a third category also, which are very young women who have been told that their worth come from marriage. So उनके लिए क्या होता है? They see this and they see this. Okay, this is a beautiful life. This is a very simple, peaceful life. I also want to live like that. So they never become financially independent, and they go on to take a decision based on what they have seen on the internet,
Like a
which
fantasy.
which is very harmful for their life.
Because the thing is, there are girls who naturally want this. Nothing wrong with that. So many girls want to be nothing more than a wife and mother. Absolutely, I support this. But when they see this being romanticized without the cons of it, they don't really understand what they're giving up in order to do that. That kind of life is really great when it's like marzi se kar rahe hai na, but when that becomes your thankless job every single day, and that you're basically like you have nothing outside of that, that's when it gets really hard. And the problem is, see, in America, it's a little different because shadi for women, you are allowed to get divorced and you do have hope. Like, you being a divorced woman is not the end of the world. India, mein, it's not like that. India, mein, it's like the worst thing a woman can do is be single, like after getting married, having a kid with somebody else. It's like you're damaged goods. So
So
it's
you
way
guys
more.
are saying that it is okay to be a trad wife unless until it's not abused. Like, she gets her due as well. Like, her family is grateful for it.
Well, where I'm talking specifically about the trend and how it's like kind of affecting people, because India already
But
has
first
this
of all, do
idea.
you think this is real? Like what we see on the reels?
No. No, because a trad wife is not making content. That is the first rule of being a trad wife is stay at home.
Yeah,
Like, you're
so
making money off of social media. You're already not a trad wife for doing that.
you are financially independent women who is pursuing content creation as a job,
That
and
is
you
not a
get
trad
brand
wife.
But
deals.
then,
That is
but
Let
the
not a
message
trad
to
wife.
young kids, young girls, it is like that it's okay to not develop those skills to earn your own money,
It's not
right?
even what they're pushing. What they're pushing is, look at how happy I am living this life that I don't even actually live. That's the issue. It's fake. My issue is not that they're trad wives and they're loving it. My issue is that it's not real to begin with. but they're portraying it as real. And these girls who will never create content because that's not their interest, they're like, oh my god, माँ बाप like मेरे शादी करवा दो because मेरे को भी ऐसे ही life चाहिए. फिर शादी करके they're like, fuck यार, this is
This
not
is
real.
not, हाँ.
Yeah, like
This
life
That's the
completely
issue.
is
It's this
different on the other
brainwashing.
side, right?
हाँ, and pehle I think all the brainwashing came from Bollywood films. But abhi social media maybe, like people can portray themselves as regular, but it's not like regular people doing this. It's very different people doing it.
And also, content creation is not essay. It's a full-time job. You have to set the camera and then wash the utensils. You have to set the camera and then cut the sabzi and then make the sabzi and record while doing it and then write the script and do the voiceover and edit the video. It's a whole lot of work that goes into that.
Which is not a trad wife's like, yeah.
That's not a
So it's just a facade, that's the problem.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let's talk about now completely opposite spectrum of it, the OnlyFans. So do you guys think it's like empowering for women or it's like exploitative?
I'll go first. So I think this is a very gray area where it can be empowerment when it's a choice, but when it is lack of options or desperate for financial reasons, I don't think. I think
I
that's
totally agree.
exploitation.
But that's once again,
But
that's
men
part of
who
the
are
job.
paying for OnlyFans, they are not being looked down upon.
Yeah.
Nobody
I think the
calls them out.
only thing when we talk about OnlyFans comes in is a women earning money, which should not be an issue. Like why do you not see the demand? Why do you not
Exactly.
see the people who are paying her? And like if you see any video criticizing any girl who is doing OnlyFans, the first line will be, she earns 35 lakhs per month.
Exactly.
Bro, why do you have a problem with that?
Exactly.
Which should be a bragging thing, not putting her down thing.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that's the issue, is that society, the patriarchy, has created a society that values women for sex and nothing else. So when a woman finally is like, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them, let me earn money through this, become independent through this, now society's like, wow, you're a whore, you're this and that. It's like,
And take away that power from her. right?
exactly. Like when pimps were doing it, when pimps are selling girls, people, there's 50 Cent has a song like bragging about being a pimp. Being a pimp is seen as cool. Nobody comments on the men who are paying for sex. But the prostitute, we have so many words for her. But no other career is like that. Nobody judges a butcher for being a butcher. They might judge you for eating meat, but nobody judges that person for their job. Nobody like judges a drug dealer. They'll judge the junkie. You know what I mean? Like I don't even think there is a slur for drug dealer, but for junkie, there's like for a drug like a
Yeah.
druggie.
So
there's
in
like
every other profession, if it's a sin profession, customer is bashed. But in this,
exactly.
the provider is being
Provider
bashed.
is
the
bashed.
person
Just
who's
because
trying
it's a
to
woman.
pay her bills is bashed, which is so ridiculous. So for me, it's like society just can't see that women, because sex work will always be there. That's reality. It will never go away. Just like feeding people will never go away, I think. But women have for the first time taken it into their own hands, and now society hates that. But then also, are you gonna not do something because of what society judge like
And
will say?
also, the interesting point here is that mm, I don't think any 10-year-old girl will be like, oh, I want to do sex work after growing up. But society, like pimps or men, already start looking at them in that way, right? You know, it's not like a woman grows up thinking, oh, I want to do sex work. It's just that society puts that idea in their mind, and when they own it,
My
then they
dad,
have a problem. Then there's a problem.
when my sister was 14, 15 years old, she had worn like a sleeveless something, or I think it was like, you know what people go surfing in? So it's actually full sleeves, but then you can, it's like, pata nahi kaise, with that one piece
The
thing that they
bikini
have.
line
So you
you're
can
talking
see,
about?
exactly, yes.
Okay.
So you can see the legs. My dad had this weird thing against shorts. I don't know what it was about legs. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what. But he saw my sister dressed like that and he lost his shit. He was beating the shit out of her and he was screaming that you're gonna end up a porn star. He's telling a 15-year-old girl this for that. It's like you are sexualizing a 15-year-old girl. You are teaching her that her body is sexual just for existing. I feel like when society teaches women from a young age, Keith, this is all your body will ever be, then a woman actually becomes that. They're like so angry. They're like, see,
Why
we
do
told
you,
you.
huh?
But my thing is that there is nothing a woman can do in which she won't be judged. Even we've gotten to the point where if a woman is not working these days and she's just a full-time mom and wife,
She'll
she's
be
judged for
judged.
that too.
Yeah.
Now it's like you have to be working full-time. You have to be feeding your kid. Like no matter what you do, you will always be a bad wife, bad kid, bad bad everything. So do whatever you want.
I think that was a little heavy.
Yeah.
Let's jump to some fun things.
Okay.
So what we are gonna do is we'll do quick rapid fire round. Don't take breaks. Not allowed. All right. Favorite North Indian food?
Dal chawal.
Let me think. Paneer butter masala.
South Indian.
Dosa.
Dahi vada.
Long hair or short hair on guys?
Short.
Short.
Makeup or fashion? Pick one forever.
Makeup.
Fashion.
And if you could use only one makeup product for whole life?
Kajal.
BB cream.
Go to outfit, denim or dress?
Dress.
Dress. It's easy.
Favorite period product?
Tampons.
Pads.
Who has it harder in dating? Hot girls or average guys?
Hot girls.
Maybe average guys.
Can men and women be just friends?
Yes.
Yes.
What's worse, breadcrumbing or love bombing?
Breadcrumbing.
What's breadcrumbing? Sorry.
You are Gen Z, darling.
I am not aware of this word.
I am millionaire.
What is breadcrumbing?
So breadcrumbing is like where you give bare minimum to your partner, like just to keep them interested.
I got this.
Okay.
This.
Breadcrumbing, I think, is worse, but you tell me.
Breadcrumbing.
One thing women should stop apologizing for.
Wearing what they want.
Not
On brand.
not like sacrificing themselves to make the other person happy.
Okay, interesting. Which is scarier, fragile male ego or internalized misogyny?
Fragile male ego. Really? Wait, hold on. Really?
I
You
agree
think
with her.
fragile? Bro, acid attacks. Like internalized misogyny. Okay, TK, like look at what she's wearing. Iski shadi kabhi nahi hogi.
No, like
In
if I
turn-
can see a
Misogyny is more than that.
if I can
I-
see a person that they have fragile male ego, I can still kind of manage it, talk to them about it.
But
But
it's-
internalized misogyny is
misogyny-
very difficult to navigate.
No, but-
you
but-
can make friends with who have internalized misogyny and who will like
You won't
bash
even
you,
realize.
But
Nice.
but fragile male ego is like you reject a man, you tell a man I'm not interested, he's gonna come and kill you. This is my fear. Sometimes I feel like I have to tiptoe around fragile male ego for survival more than I do
I
internal.
think you have heard, like you have thought of very worst
Extreme
case.
cases, yeah.
No,
like-
but this
but
is
on daily day-to-day basis,
But I do think, I mean, the question was which is more dangerous. I think
Okay.
with internalized
which is more
misogyny,
scarier.
yeah, like that's way scarier because there have been so many situations where a guy in any situation does something. He might not actually hurt me, but my immediate thing is like I try to like take care of his ego so that I don't die. They both affect me on a day-to-day basis, but fragile male ego has resulted in deaths, which makes it more scary. I think that's my argument.
I think if any male, like any men around me has fragile male ego, I can sense that like through something. But internalized misogyny, I cannot sense that, so I cannot like be always away from them. So I think this is also a bit patriarchal that we shame women for having internalized misogyny but not men enough. So I think both should be equal. Like
Yeah, but given that sometimes we expect misogyny from men but not from women, and when it comes in women also, sometimes I find it a little
it hurts.
scarier.
But
It
I think
hurts.
it's for women, I feel more pity.
Ah,
Like
sad.
when a guy comments hate comments and they could say the worst things. They could be like, "You're worthless. You're good." Like some guys are crazy. They'll be in the comments like, "I'm gonna rape you." Like they say shit like this.
Yes, yes,
This
I
I'm like,
agree.
okay, you fucking loser. But then when a woman does that, I literally will reply and I'll be like, I'm so sorry that you hate women so much as a woman. Like I genuinely feel for her. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
I
when
hope
a
you heal."
woman
I say
calls
that-
me out on
huh,
some like
yeah.
calls me out on if I'm not capable or something, it hurts me more. Like like if they doubt my driving skills or anything, like it hurts more than a man because man I expect them to like okay.
Oh,
It doesn't
that's
hurt
the
me at
reason. No,
all.
that's the reason. Why do you expect a man to be misogynist rather than a woman? Because both are raised in same conditions, right? But we can't expect every woman to heal. I just reply to the comment saying, I just reply, I feel sad for you. I hope you heal soon. This
Exactly,
is my
because I don't feel hurt when a woman says anything. I genuinely feel sad for her that
Exactly.
you have become like this. Like a man or a woman could say whatever to me. A man, I'm like, hut. A woman, I'm like, baby, I'm so sorry that you had to go through whatever made you this way. Like, I genuinely feel
Fair
that.
enough. Fair enough. All right. When one thing men need to stop expecting women to do.
Stop expecting women to fix you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Good
yeah,
enough.
free
Good.
therapy. Oh my god. Yes. Free. I'm so tired of men using
I
women
think
for
you
free
guys should
therapy.
talk about it more on your channels. Like free therapy is a thing. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
like men are
Yeah.
so obsessed with, oh, like are women paying 50% of the first date bill? Bro, you talked about yourself the whole fucking time. You talked about traumas I did not ask about. You know what I mean? Like I'm sending you a fucking invoice for that. I'll pay the whole bill, baby. Your invoice is gonna be like 3 times this shit. That shit makes me so mad.
Who is judged more harshly, single women or divorced men?
Single women.
Single women.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is worse, a man who can't communicate or a man who overshares?
A man who can't communicate.
A
No woman
man
has
who
ever been like, my man communicates too much. Men say that about other men.
Hmm.
Women don't think that.
Would you
Women
ra-
just think they are social.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather be underestimated or objectified?
Honestly, both.
I
You'll
think as
prefer
a
both?
woman,
Yeah.
I think
Like
as a
you
woman,
want to be objectified and underestimated?
I use them both to my advantage. I mean, that's what my if you
Oh,
see my
that's
page,
sassy.
yeah, if you see, I'm like, like think that I'm stupid. Like I love when guys think I'm fucking stupid. It makes me mad at first, but then that's how I'm like, yeah, like I really don't know what's going on, and then at the end I come out on top. It's always like that. I
What's
love
your
that
take?
shit.
I think as a woman, you will always be underestimated and objectified. There is no way that you can be one.
Choose your poison,
Honestly,
lady.
like the way that my page grew so much, like now I talk about other stuff, but in the beginning, I just big tits, nice like deep cuts, for my shirt, and that's why in the beginning my male following was 91%, and then my
Damn.
shit started going viral, and now I'm like. Now I have the subscriber module. So the same shit I was putting for free, now I'm like, you guys can pay for it. And now I'm kind of focused more on the women thing. It's like I was like, I'm carrying this, might as well make like take advantage of being objectified.
Who has better friendships, men or women?
Women. And men love to say that they do, but have you ever seen two men chill? They'll chill for like 6 hours.
I think women. Women
Okay.
have the best.
So we both we are
friendships.
agreeing that women are.
Yes.
Yeah. Men will be like, girls have so much drama, and then all of their friends are rapists. Like, I don't understand. For
Yeah, I
like-
think men have friendships very on the surface level. Like women communicate
Exactly.
much deeper.
Yeah. Or girlfriend.
and then confuse that genuine friendship for romance. And then they'll like fall in love.
What's the most baddest thing about being a woman?
Most baddest thing.
Badass.
Badass thing.
Badass.
Okay, I'll put it again. What's the most badass thing about being a woman?
I think getting to choose what you want, whatever the fuck you want to do with your life. Like, that is.
Do women get this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women don't get to do that, right?
No, I mean, maybe someday.
No, but what do you think? What's your favorite part about being a woman?
I love dressing up.
I think we are done with the podcast. Do you guys want to ask me anything? Since I grilled you guys a lot today.
As my best friend, who's like crazy acid Rani, and her, a girl who's from your hometown, how do you feel you fit into the dynamic we have?
Okay. So, Tanya, we know each other from long time now. And you are the one crazy baddest person I know. And Muskan, who shares hometown with me. So, though I have met her only once or twice, but I know her like thought process because it will be very
Yeah,
similar to
very
me.
similar.
So I think somewhere I lie between you guys, like, in terms of my thought. Also, age wise, I think since I'm older than Muskan, so my thought process has, because of life experience, little,
Yeah.
come little far from her.
But something that I think is interesting that you guys have talked about is you guys are both from Patiala, Punjab, and you guys are
And you have been
both
there.
vegetarian. Yeah, and I've been there. You guys are both vegetarian. Oh, the pav bhaji place, of course. You guys are both vegetarian. You guys both don't drink or do drugs, and I
Neither
think
we
that's
smoke.
Yeah, you guys don't like. You guys are very opposite of the Punjabi stereotype.
We don't do patiala peg, guys.
The
Yeah.
three Punjabi, yeah.
Asking us how come we are not eating butter chicken.
The three Punjabi people I'm really close to here in Bangalore, one of them is vegan. You guys are vegetarian. You guys do not drink or smoke or do any nasha at all.
I hope this puts into all the stereotypes
Yeah.
Yeah.
of our Punjabi
I
people.
know.
Every person I meet, Patiala peg.
And all three of us have skinny bodies. Like, otherwise people tell me like, how come you're so skinny
skinny.
and you are Punjabi? Like,
That's so true.
do you get this?
I get this a lot too.
And you guys
But
can
I'm like-
eat. I don't even understand. You guys eat
Because
well.
we have Punjabi
you're-
metabolism. That's not a
Yeah.
stereotype.
Well, I'll say
Good
this
We
is
can
Things are
digest
never
our
the
desi ghee
stereotype.
like this.
Good things are never a stereotype.
Exactly.
They are a reality.
It's just the alcohol and stuff. This is so much fun, Muskan. I'm so glad that I got to see you. And I'm going to be leaving Bangalore, but I feel like we're actually like friends. Like we came and it was like, hey, let's
Yes.
collab. But then it's
Yeah.
like पता ही नहीं चला कि हम काम कर रहे साथ में. It was like हम बस ऐसे ही enjoy कर रहे थे, and it was just like I just
This is so
love-
much fun.
Yeah, this was so
with-
much fun.
to have you
Super fun.
guys.
It was so
Alright,
much fun.
guys.
It was my first podcast, and I'm so glad it was with friends. I didn't feel nervous at all, which I thought if it would have been with someone else, I would have felt a little bit. But it was great.
Yeah.
Amazing. I had so much fun having you guys, answering all my questions. All right, before they throw us out, let's exit.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.